the people that we have in our business that thrive in our culture are really excited by breaking the boundary all the time of what is possible, by doing something totally new, by being the people who write the book on how you do the thing. I think that's the big kind of difference between entrepreneurs and other people, if you really want to break it down to one character difference, is that most people will just accept that there isn't another solution, whereas an entrepreneur will not accept that and will just then go out to try and do it themselves.
Hi everybody and welcome to FEBE Founder Stories, and it is awesome to have Melissa Snova with us. How are you doing, Melissa?
I'm well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Do you know what? It's so cool to have you in because I've been seeing all the stuff that you've been doing on social at the moment, especially with the launch of all these products. I saw you outside Selfridges recently, so it's a real treat to have you in here because you're crushing it with what you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
And so that's why it's an honour for us as well to be able to celebrate you this year in the Growth 100. So thanks for being a part of this with us. It means a lot.
It's an honor to be included, honestly, amongst all those other incredible entrepreneurs. We were delighted and, quite surprised, actually, when we got the news.
Oh, well, it's great. It's great to hear you saying that. Now, let's start to talk about Nourished. This is, excuse the language, but this is some clever shit you're doing here because it's using patented technology to basically create, to manufacture these incredible health products. Mm-hmm. Have I got that kind of as a summation quite right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a top line summary. You nailed it.
So tell me more, because I'm gonna start. Well, do you know what? Sod it. I'm gonna have one of these now. What is it? What is in this beautiful thing that I have in my hand?
In that specific one, you've got resveratrol, lycopene, hydrocurc, vitamin C, vitamin A, and vitamin D3, 3,000 milligrams.
So this is really good in terms of taste, but it's really good for me, right?
Of course.
So it's win-win.
Yeah, it has 100% efficacy for the benefit.
Oh, that is nice.
It's important to do that as well. But yeah, so the technology from your original question is really important because mainstream manufacturing, 95% of all the products that we buy today, especially in retail, especially in food, are mass manufactured.
Yep.
Hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of the same thing over and over again with very little variation. And that's fine because it brings certain products to market at a really good price point, and that is important in certain categories. But where it falls down is where personalization adds real value. And in our mission at Nourished, it is based around this idea that personalization in nutrition and health actually is where it can make the biggest difference. So getting the right nutrients, the right macros, so fat, protein, carbohydrates, the right botanicals at the right time actually can make a huge difference to your overall well-being, not just today, but also in the future. But mainstream manufacturing does not allow for that. It would be totally bonkers, even to make a short run of a couple thousand of something, never mind a unique thing, which is why we had to start from scratch and develop everything from the machinery to the coding to the formulations in order for this to be able to come to life.
When you say we, this has been, a lot of it has been you teaching yourself how to do this, right?
Yes, in the very beginning, I developed the first 3D printer with FDA and FSA compliance on my own.
As you do.
And then I brought in my CTO, who was actually just a recent graduate, who has an absolutely amazing just natural penchant for additive manufacturing and a huge love of it, which is important when you have to work really hard. And together we were able to optimize and add to that technology to allow for us to create even more sophisticated products like Nourish now, where there's 7 unique elements for each person. We have over 50 different nutrients that you can choose from, some which can have dosage changes too, and 20 flavors, so 60 billion plus possible universe of options. And that is what's really never been done before. It's really either pseudo-personalization or taking a bunch of already made things and putting them into a convenient new packaging. But this is really the first made-to-order, manufactured-to-order personalized product.
And do you think the choice, as well as obviously the quality of the product, is what is driving the incredible growth in what you're doing?
I think that the personalization element makes sense to people
Yeah.
in this category, definitely, and I think in other categories it will. But I think the biggest thing that leads to our crazy high retention, which is over 85% for the last 2 years, our customer retention, it's super strong. And I think the reason for that is it's just a validation of our original hypothesis, which is if people get the correct nutrients, vitamins, and minerals, and they get the right doses of them, and they take it every day because it's delicious and enjoyable, they will actually see a bigger benefit to their health, which is the overall, goal of any health and wellness product, right? Yeah. And I think where there's a lot of skepticism in this category around vitamins and supplements, I tried it didn't work for me. It probably either wasn't the right thing for you or it didn't have the right amount of the thing which you need for the benefit. And so we try to solve for all of that. And we don't include a single ingredient in our product unless we can include it's called the efficacious dose, which has been validated by the highest level clinical data, which is published and peer-reviewed on a global scale.
Really?
Yeah, and it's important because if people have a benefit, then of course they're going to keep doing it. Why would you stop doing something that's adding value to your life, right?
Yeah. Has this always been... by the way you're talking about this, you can tell this is... Do you know what, passion is a bit of a cliched word, but I cannot think of a better word to describe how you're talking about your product. Has this always been something that has been of major interest to you? Health.
Biohacking is the way that I look at it. I'm a constant optimizer.
Yep.
And so when I started to learn about nutrition, kinesiology, and bioscience, and all of the different potential ways that you could consume different types of food and different types of active ingredients to get better outcomes, to basically cancel out bad things in your lifestyle. And when I say that sounds really bad, like I have a gambling problem. No, it's more like I look at a screen too much. I work too many hours. I don't sleep enough. I travel 200 days a year. I can't stop doing that. But what can I do from a nutrition point of view and from a lifestyle point of view to make sure that that doesn't have a really negative impact on the way that I feel on a day-to-day?
Because it can.
And absolutely. And then it's not sustainable. But if you can find a way to supplement, that's where that word comes from, your life with other things in order to cancel out some of these things that are in your life that are not necessarily the most healthy way to live. If you were going to sit and really break it down, you can optimize and still achieve and do what you want while not feeling horrible. And so I loved that. It really made me feel like, oh, we have a choice. There's something you can do about it. And then when you look at the research around how good health, good wellness, good nutrition, and good exercise habits, and how that can prevent everything from degenerative disease to muscle decay to weight gain to metabolic failure. It's so exciting because it means that, okay, of course, we're all going to grow old, but you don't have to grow old the same way that your parents did. If you have this at your fingertips and it can be made accessible to you and you can actually enjoy it enough to do it every day, then there is a really strong chance that you can stack the odds in your favor, basically. Yeah.
Did people think you were bonkers when you first started doing this?
Yes.
Because,
yes. Oh, they did. They did.
It's so innovative and ahead of the game, right?
Yeah. When I raised my seed round, people were, because the seed round is the hardest round, I think, because you're just going in there with a really pretty slide deck and an idea. And you're like, hi, I'd like you to give me some money. I have some slides that I can show you in exchange for the money. Like, it's really difficult. When you have your Series A and you have a factory and you have sales and you have data and you have customers, it's easier because people can wrap their head around it and feel a sense of confidence. But when my seed round, when I went to people and tried to explain what I was doing, I got a lot of, you won't be able to do it. A lot of, you didn't create this technology. That was really rude, but that's a lot.
Really?
A lot of times they're like, so can we meet the engineer? And it's like, oh my God, you're out. It's the true story. And it's not like it happened only one time, but it is one of those things, unfortunately.
Do you in those situations, do you bite your lip, or did you sometimes say, look, just
No.
check yourself here, people?
I don't make a bigger deal out of it than it needs to be, but I definitely note it. I think I do a lot of mentorship for female entrepreneurs, young and old, every age. And I think a lot of times they try and act like it's a disadvantage. I don't think that serves anyone.
Right.
I don't think behaving like that like You're a Victim serves the progression of women in business or helps the counterparts in male population to come to where it needs to be.
Yep.
And so I always try and focus on, if people underestimate you, whether they be men or women, make them pay for that. It's very straightforward.
Right.
That is a massive gift, like wonderful.
Yeah, I
excellent,
love that.
exciting. And so, and I think in the end, it just makes you have to work harder. It gives you a ton of fire in your belly to continue. But I'd never make a big deal out of it. I just speak very calmly and very factually. No, it was me.
That's really explaining the difficulty of what you're up against. You have the bias, plus you have the fact that this is technology that people are thinking, whoa,
totally.
What have you been taking in these? So how did you?
Yeah.
What was the kind of moment when someone took the no pun intended, took the bite and they're like, okay, this is cool.
So I wasn't lucky. I hate the word lucky because it's not actually the truth, but I can't think of another word. I was grateful for the fact that I had already several really positive and quite public experiences creating businesses and selling them. So I had a decent reputation of being able to build businesses.
Yes.
And so in that, I was able to go to people and especially people that I had known previously, that had seen what I had done with my previous companies, and say, this is something I think is really important. And
so you'd done it, but you'd done it before unsuccessfully.
So successfully. I started the first ever vegan allergen-free gummy candy, and I grew it from 0 to 40,000 stores in under 3 years, and I sold it to Cloetta PLC. So that's when I started working on hydrocolloid technology, which is gelling, like gelatin is a hydrocolloid, pectin, that kind of stuff. And so that helped me to at least have a certain reputation and a certain level of background. Brilliant. That people were like, this person is not just, she made some pretty slides and she doesn't have any idea what she's doing.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah, and I think, I wasn't lucky. I had to work really hard to do that thing that I then got to enjoy a positive reputation as a result of, which helped me to get people to take me seriously. Yeah. Where I think if I had not had that, I think I would have potentially not been able to get any money. Yeah. Because I think you have to have something that gives people a certain level of confidence in your ability to execute on this beautiful slide deck plan that you made. Yeah. But now that we've only raised a Series A in the business now, and
when was that?
March of 21.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And now we have 19 patents that we've developed around hardware, process, material science. We have 225 staff. 3 manufacturing sites where we build the machines and make the product. And we work with some of the biggest CPG and health businesses in the world. We have collaborations with Colgate, Neutrogena, which is part of Kenvue now, but when we started working with them, they were part of Johnson & Johnson. And, the businesses has a certain level of respect. And now when we go to our next round, probably next year, we'll be able to bring people on site.
Melissa, one of the things I'm really interested to ask here is, when you've built up a really successful business and you've exited it, where does the drive to then do it all over again? Because I guess it's just as hard to go again as it was the first time, right? Or maybe not, I don't know. But where does that drive come from when you've already had, you've created success?
Yeah, I think that most entrepreneurs share this trait with me, which is that you have a very natural, very loud voice inside your head that if you see something that's missing, not correct, that needs to be improved in products, in the market, in your own personal life, you cannot rest, really, until you do what you can to either find the solution that's already out there or make one. And I think that's the big kind of difference between entrepreneurs and other people, if you really want to break it down to one character difference, is that most people will just accept that there isn't another solution, whereas an entrepreneur will not accept that and will just then go out to try and do it themselves.
It's interesting you're saying it's a voice in your head saying, fix it, Melissa, fix it.
And it's very loud, and and at times it's just like quite distracting, destructive. So when I finished and sold the previous company, I did a transition with them, And then as soon as I left, I had about 20 new ideas that I wanted to do. But there's usually one that is the loudest, and you really need to progress with it. And they often lead to other things. So the first idea that I started doing after Goody Good Stuff was to customize confectionery. I just came from candy, and I wanted to find a way for people to make their own confectionery in any shape, any color, any flavor, at the drop of a finger. And I wanted customers to become the creator of their own product. And so that was my vision for the first 3D printer. And then after that printer was live, and it was all over the world, and it is still now, I realized, oh my gosh, this technology is so much more powerful than where we pointed it. I mean, it's wonderful and it's delightful, educational, the candy and the confectionery, but it's a novelty.
Yep.
And I realized very quickly that, oh my gosh, this would be game-changing if you could apply it to an area that would highly benefit from customization, and health was very clearly the answer.
Right. So the answer is then, and that's so well put, is it's basically you've just got this voice in your head that's saying, here's a problem, fix it. And you can't silence that voice.
No,
because
absolutely.
it's in you to fix problems and create solutions.
Absolutely. That is exactly it. And I think when the other part of the question I think is important also to answer, which is it as hard to do it the second time, the third time?
Yeah.
And
how many times do you want now?
This is my fourth company. And,
wow.
And they were all in very different things. And I think that's also rare, but also what I really enjoy is learning new things, gaining a really strong understanding and ability within them, and then doing my best to add value, and then who knows what will happen.
And I'm going to
next.
ask this question because you're American, and I love the fact that the American way of looking at things is some things succeed and some things don't.
Correct.
We're all for a massive success, with some a failure. What was, those four businesses? What was the degree of success to which you achieved with them? Obviously, the one we were speaking about earlier, big success. What about the others?
They were all a success in their own right.
Yeah.
But they all had many, many thousands, hundreds of thousands of failures, some small, some large, that all resulted in a very important lesson being learned by me, by my team, which allowed me as an individual and the businesses and my future business to be able to progress much faster into a place where nobody else is currently hanging out, you know? So that's, when you do things that no one has ever done before, and that's really what we do. We have this massive sign that says, we will never again do anything that anyone has ever done before. And every day we make something that has never been made before. And that's really scary to some people. Some people like, what they know, and that makes them feel really calm and safe. The people that we have in our business that thrive in our culture are really excited by breaking the boundary all the time of what is possible, by doing something totally new, by being the people who write the book on how you do the thing. It is quite scary because there's no case study for doing what we did. And we just did a whole new production line that is absolutely incredible. We had tons of problems. Yeah. Tons. Oh my God. I can't even count them all. I still have PTSD. I'm still in it, so it's like PTSD live. But
so the stress still
every day. But the difference between me now and me at the beginning of my career is that I have gone through enough of these things that I thought were going to be absolutely this. We're not going to be able to do this.
It's the end.
Living on the edge of a nervous breakdown. That I have now gained a certain inner confidence, both in myself and the people I have around me, that I know it is really difficult. You can't change that. That is part of the process. But I know that we will do it, no matter what. And so there's kind of like that inner peace. It doesn't help right now. There's an earthquake happening and you have to feel it. But I know that the earthquake will settle and the building will still be standing and that we will be able to move forward, if that makes sense.
Total sense.
Okay.
Yeah, so the thing I'm learning from that is, I guess that anxiety and that fear is always bubbling along. It's still there, but you know you're going to get through it. Yeah. You know that you're going to find a way.
Yeah.
And that's what drives you. That's what gives you the persistence, the strength, the iron will, which I think is what many successful entrepreneurs have to keep on moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right.
So you've got 225 people.
Yep.
Which is nuts. That's a lot. That's a lot of responsibility you have there.
It is.
3 sites.
Yes.
Based in Birmingham.
Yes.
How have you found the journey of growth? So when you take it was you and your CTO, and then all of a sudden you fast forward to now with employing hundreds of people. You know, what has it been like to create that culture in your business, to bring people on that journey with you, to be able to really get up and sell the vision? How has that been as an experience for you?
So I think in 2019, I had 4 people, all 4 of which are still with me.
Really?
And now we have 225. And so that's a really short space of time to grow from really like everyone sitting in the same room. No one has their own office. Like everyone knows everything that's going on. You don't have to have meetings about it. Like everyone just knows because they're all in the room together. To, you know, where now I'm doing, you know, town halls and departmental meetings and going from site to site to site to be present as a CEO. And the culture, I think, is probably the thing that I'm the most proud of that we built.
Right.
Our culture is based around empathy for each other, for our customer, so that we develop products that will actually help our customer and that we treat people with candor and respect. There's no back chat in our entire business. Like no one talks badly about each other. There's no water cooler, nah.
Not allowed.
None of it. And I don't tolerate it, but it just doesn't happen. And that I love so much because I think it's super rare.
Yeah.
And I think that
so how do you stop that? How do you stop that?
We create a culture that's fostering nothing but support. We're all in it together. No one has individual targets. Everyone gets rewarded on the whole business's target. Everybody chucks in and helps everyone else. Like just yesterday, we had customer service team in the production doing QC checking. And we had the design team packing boxes because we have a humongous influx of orders and it was way more than we expected and they couldn't keep up. And, you know, the next day we'll have people in the tech team deburring metal equipment if needed. And like everybody is available to help everyone. And we don't win alone. One department winning means nobody wins. Everybody has to come together. And I think that's really key. And then I think we built the business from scratch. Everybody has been here seeing the business grow, and we are a lean startup, right? So there's a much different attitude about roll your hands up. Also, your opinion matters. Every person's opinion matters, and nothing is fixed. Like nothing is perfect. Everything can be improved every day, but nothing is broken either. And so this kind of attitude about any person from the lowest entry-level role up to a C-suite has the right to bring me any proposal at any time. And I think that is also something that people feel heard, they feel like they're part of something important, and they feel like they matter.
And I bet you feel proud when that happens, right?
I do.
A lot when someone anywhere comes to you and says, of any level, Melissa, can I chat about an idea I've had or something I've noticed? Maybe it's not a good thing they've noticed, or as in they want to change something, I don't know.
Totally. It's everything from, you know, I really think that we should change the flooring in the break room because it's really hard to keep the carpet clean, to, you know, actually I think that we should change the hydrocolloid temperature on this. It will add to the, whatever, really scientific things. It's everything. And I think because the business is so big now, I can't possibly know everything that's going on at every time. We're a 24-hour operation. It's really impossible for me to know. Yeah. I need them to be able to tell me, or at least tell their direct reports, and then them tell me, so that we can actually take action and don't become, you know, ruling from the ivory tower. That is absolutely not how I want to run a business. And I spend every week time in production, time in technology, time in formulations development. And I try and make sure that I stay on top of what's really going on.
Awesome. One thing we were talking about before we started filming was going back again to the New Yorker in you, which was, and again, something that which I think is fabulous about the entrepreneurial culture in America is the embracing things that maybe don't go as well. The failures, right? You were saying that you have something in your place whereby you actually get people to be very open about the things that haven't got right, and actually there's an award for the biggest mistake. I don't know how you describe it, but tell us about that.
Yeah, failure brags.
Failure brags.
Yeah, we have failure brags at the end of every manager meeting where everyone stands up and has to talk about the biggest failure from the previous month and what lesson they learned and how going forward things will be better than they would be had they not learned, had they not failed. right?
Yeah.
And
Brilliant.
I started it, and I had a horrible one, so I made it really, really easy for them to come up and do it after me because mine was bad, like
Was
really
it?
bad. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I want to set the example. I don't want to say it and then like do it like, oh, I made one mistake by one time not sending an email, but I corrected it. That's lame. Like I want to hear about the biggest failures, really bad stuff. You know, for example, one of the people might have forgotten to chase a supplier. We didn't have a material we needed. We had to shut production. It cost the business X. What have I done instead? Now I have set up an automatic reminder and an alert system.
Brilliant.
That, you know, this kind of thing. That's an example. That's just one example. There are so many, and they happen every day. And so by doing that, yeah, the winner at every month gets a prize, a monetary prize. And so now I think they think about it very differently. And they're thinking all month like, oh, I'm going to keep that from my failure of the month. Like, but it's not just then. We talk about it openly. At Nourished, it is
because you've got to talk about the solution you put in place.
Yes.
That's the critical element there, isn't it? This is why I'm smiling when you say it, because it's genius. Because you're thinking, right, I've made a mistake there, but this is how we will make sure this doesn't happen again.
Totally. And really, that's, I think, the most important. We do that on a daily basis. And when a problem happens, they have this kind of template protocol. When something really bad happens, the way that they should approach me or any direct report is, this is what's happened. This is why it's happened. These are two possible solutions that I think we should look at. The one that I prefer is X. The reason is Y. It will cost the business this much. The result, if we do it, is this. If we don't do anything, the result is this.
Right.
Really straightforward. It's like a template we have on a document. You can fill it in 10 minutes, and you can bring it to me, and I make the decision within less than a minute.
Really?
Yeah, and then they don't need anything else. They just go.
Brilliant.
And I think that's important, right?
Yeah.
So the worst thing you can do is stand there paralyzed like, something went wrong. Let's just wait. Let's talk about it for 6 weeks. No. We need to make a decision and we need to go.
This is the first time I've heard this in a founder story.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's absolutely, it's brilliant.
It's key.
It's a cracking idea. And I think innovation is built on making mistakes. So
Totally.
if you can innovate fast and you're going to break everything up, like you say. What's written on your? What do you say is the main mantra that's kind of written on your?
Yeah,
wall?
we will never again do anything that anyone has ever done
exactly.
before.
So exactly. So I totally get it. Now let's talk more about these lovely products. Then I take it they are they for every age? Is this for anybody can get the benefit from your products?
Absolutely. So the whole idea behind personalization is that we can make a special product for each person. We have more options than there are humans on the planet, right? So
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so your age, your sex, whether you're pregnant, not pregnant, whether you're a runner or not a runner, your genetic impact, anything, you're a vegan, you're not a vegan, we can take all of this information specifically about you and we can create a customized product just for you. And we have a huge amount of our customers that are over 55. And we have customers that are young children. We have Nourish kids. We have kids as young as 4
really?
That are using Nourish Kids products. So the whole point of customization it is not a one-size-fits-all, and that we can make whatever it is that will suit an individual. Because when we think about people in age groups or breaking them down by, is it a male or female? Are they over 55 or under 55? That's the way that you used to think about it. Because that's what's possible with mainstream manufacturing. But not all people over 55 who are women are the same. And there is so much more personalization elements that we can put into our product that is just not possible with, mainstream factory manufacturing items.
Is Gen Z? Everyone's always obsessed by Gen Z. Is that, I guess, not for you, right? Because it's across so many ages.
Any age is fine. And we have some customers that are in what you would consider Gen Z. But I think when you think about health and wellness, there are two really important things to remember about where value perception comes from around health. And this is due to really, on a cellular level, what's happening in our body. And so from the age of 0 to 12, our body is developing. our organs, our brain, our bones are developing and growing. And then from 12 to 16, still your bones are growing, but most of your major organs, your brain development is now complete. So during that time, you need a ton of essential micronutrients to ensure that your body has the building blocks to be able to do that work, right? That's why kids' products need a huge number of different nutrients all the time, because they all are developing in the inside.
Yeah.
Then when you are about 18 till you're 25, this is like basically the biological prime of your life, okay? You are in what we call at Nourish, the invincibility stage.
Okay.
And so your stem cells are replicating so quickly that you don't get a hangover, your wounds heal really fast, you don't get DOMS when you work out, you can stay up all night and not be tired. Yeah, you're basically, your body is killing it. You're making more repair cells than your body needs. And you feel great. And at that moment, I can totally understand why you don't think that you need to take other things to make you feel better or to protect against your lifestyle. You're also doing most of the things you want to do between 18 and 25. I think it's like also the fun time in your life, right? Not that being an adult is not fun. That's a horrible message. But you're going on a gap year, you're traveling, you're going to university, you're having a lot of fun. You get to choose a lot of the things that you do for the first time. When you turn 25, this is when your stem cell proliferation starts to slow down. A lot of people think it's older than that. It is unfortunately not. That's an inconvenient,
25.
quite depressing truth. But from when you're 25, your stem cell proliferation slows and gets progressively slower over time. And so that's where we start to see things where if there's not enough repair cells to do everything, the body is so smart, it prioritizes the essential things first: organs, cellular renewal. It won't prioritize your hangover or your muscles from DOMS or your skin. Because your topical skin look and feel is not essential for your being alive. Your heart, your stomach, your liver, your organs, this is essential, right? So as you get even older, this is where you start to see organ failure when there's not even enough repair cells to cover even essential requirements in the body. And that is like a very basic breakdown, but that is what happens.
Yeah.
So going back to your original question, when you're Gen Z, you're invincible. They don't feel they need. And if they do it, it's more for a hair, skin, and nail, more from a vanity point of view as opposed to a need to have. It's a like to have or a nice to have or a... And when they get a little older, then they start to realize that their health is really important. It's super valuable. You only get one body, that you need to look after it, that they'd like to keep it performing and functioning.
And that's when it kicks in.
And that's when not just my product, but all health and wellness products start to make sense, I think.
I think so. That's a great way of putting it.
Great.
I didn't realize it was so young. I thought 25.
It's not nice. But the good news is, by taking certain active ingredients and following certain lifestyle habits like exercise, especially doing lightweight training, sleeping well, you can minimize the reduction in stem cell proliferation so that it goes down slower and even doesn't get worse very much up until a certain age. Yeah. So you'll know, everyone knows a person in their 80s who looks ridiculously good.
Yeah.
That is what that person has done. They've led a very healthy life. They've probably been physically active, and they have probably eaten well, and they've probably slept well.
Really?
And that is the result of that. And there is also an aspect of genetics, but really there's very strong science to suggest that you have also a lot of tools at your disposal to help you to age as best you can.
Okay, cool. Right, a couple of things I want to ask. The fact that you are a New Yorker living in Britain. Mm-hmm. What do you think we Brits are doing well in terms of, or not so well in terms of, in the world of entrepreneurialism? What do you think is a good thing about, running a business in Britain, or what are things that we could probably do better from your experience of how things are done across the pond?
Are you going to show this in America?
Well, we would love to be big in America one day, but
no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I've been here for a while, and so I like it very much. My personality suits the British culture better than the American persona.
Why is that?
Okay, so I'm going to explain this in a way which I hope will make sense to you.
Okay.
Britain is thousands of years old, okay? America is just over 200 years old, okay? So if you can take that information and then compare it to humans, Britain is like in their mid-40s. They know who they are. They're very comfortable with who they are. They're not going to set the world on fire, but they're also going to probably do very well, steady, well-resourced, very, very intelligent, lots of education. They've been around the block. They've learned a lot. They know, right? They also are really accepting of diversity much more. Now, America is a teenager, okay? And so America's like got so much energy, so many ideas, full of beans, wants to do everything. So this is where you can see all of the innovation that comes out of the US. Because there's like, we can do it, we can do anything, like what you feel like when you're young and like anything is possible. And but it's also why you see that the huge suicide rates and the eating disorders and the influencer culture being so more toxic there than it is here.
Yeah.
The foundation of Britain is stronger. I feel like there is also a better environment for research and development here, and a lot of people are surprised when I say that. Yeah,
that's a turn up for the books.
Yeah. Up until recently, we had the best R&D relief scheme in the world.
Yeah.
And I know that because I did a ton of research when I set up Remedy and Nourished. And I did research when I set up the previous company because I am an American citizen. I could absolutely set the company up in the United States. And the government framework around incentivizing innovation is just nowhere near as good as it is here in the UK. Our business particularly has Patent Box. So again, in the world, nothing like Patent Box like we have here. And the EMI share scheme and the SEIS and EIS share, investment schemes are world-class, best in the world. I can't find anywhere that even gets close to it. So for those things, you have to think, wow, they really are trying to create an environment where innovative and like research and development driven businesses are going to find a really comfortable and positive and supportive home in the United Kingdom. And I think they are doing that. I think that is what their goal is. And we've found that to be the case. I have found that to be the case, that we have had a huge amount of access to Department of International Trade and universities and things like that. And, now we don't call on it as much because we know we're doing our own thing. Now we actually bring grads in to do work projects with us. But I never did a business like this in America, so I cannot say like for like. Okay. But I just don't feel the tax incentives I can say, because those are public information. But the others, I don't feel like maybe I would have been able to access as much to be able to progress so quick, so far, so fast.
So the bottom line is we're doing good.
I think you are doing well.
Love it. Well, that's great to hear. That is great to hear. Now, you have mentioned the fact that you aren't doing this in America, so that kind of makes me think, what does the future look like now for the business in terms of, global expansion, and what kind of markets have you got your eye on? Where do you see this business now going in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, however long you're playing that game?
So we are selling Nourished in America.
You are, sorry.
I'm just not making, I just don't have a factory there.
I see, right.
Absolutely. The American market is a wonderful market for this type of product. And so, we launched Nourished USA about a year after we launched the UK.
Oh, right.
So it's been going for about 2 years now. And then we have just been to Tokyo, where I've been doing a press junket around the launch of Nourish Japan, which will launch in 4 days.
Really?
So August 14th.
I bet Japan was awesome, wasn't it?
I love Japan. I've been many times. And we had a wonderful time, and we had an incredible amount of support from one of our investors who was based there. It was amazing. It was such a wonderful trip. And I really am so excited about the Japanese market. It's the third biggest economy on earth. A lot of people don't think about it because it doesn't seem like that, but it's true. And they have this extremely high amount of value put on health and wellness. They have, I can't remember the exact number, but the most people over 100 of any of the G7 nations. And so I think it's a fantastic country to be able to get our product into. And then in September, we will launch in Europe. So it will be quite
so it's all kicking
places.
Off.
Yeah.
Jeez, wow. So this is becoming a truly global business.
Yes, it is. And I think
with the flag flying from Birmingham.
100%.
Which I think is great.
Absolutely. And that's the thing I don't think a lot of people think about as well, is the made in Britain, made in UK stamp on our product gains us credibility and customers in every market on earth, because it is known for quality, heritage. Yeah.
So as I start to hear this incredible story, and it is incredible, Melissa, what you've done is make no mistake, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And the fact that you're a serial entrepreneur. So this is not just, this isn't a fluke. This is because this is just repeat. Learn, great, repeat. I don't know what the expression, there is an expression, I can't remember what it is. Does it ever surprise you? Does it ever take you back and you go, blimey, I didn't ever think this would happen like this? Or has there always been that belief that you knew you would?
No, I think that that is one of the biggest challenges as an entrepreneur, is to actually make the time to take a step back, because you are running the whole time. And it's difficult to stop and actually look at everything that you're doing and look at what you have done, to stop and celebrate it. And because your entrepreneurial mind and the mind of any startup as a whole has to be to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. Yeah, because it's relentless. Like adapt or die, right? So, so it is difficult to take a step back. But I'm lucky that we have a lot of people who come to visit us in the factory, where I get to give a tour. This can be an investor or media or one of our partners, and in that I'm able to show off everything and look at it from a different perspective. And I always find it makes me very emotional, makes me really proud. And it makes me quite shocked, actually. Sometimes, just the other day, I was like, oh my God, we have 225 people. I can't believe we have 225 people. Because just like 4 months ago, we had 100.
4 months ago? So oh my goodness, that is some growth.
So you can't do it gracefully, but you can do it with as much positive energy as you can, and you can survive it, I think is the point. Yeah.
Okay, well, just incidentally, this product is big. Is this where you're holding this outside Selfridges quite recently? Yes. This is going pretty well, this product.
It is going very well. Yes, we have 5 of products in that line, the Nourish Collagen Plus line. Yeah. And 2 of them are absolutely killing. All of them are doing well, but the 2 items that are killing it in there. We just opened a new kind of activation space within Selfridges Food Hall in Oxford called the Feel Good Bar. Yep. Because being healthy should feel good and be delicious, right? So it should be enjoyable. It should be like what it feels like to be at a bar. To be healthy is the idea. Yep. I love it. I think it's such a smart way of looking at it. And so there we sell everything. We also have live 3D printing, and we just launched the Nourish Collagen line. This product is incredible because it includes inside of it the world's first authentic collagen. So collagen is an animal protein. So you often hear people talk about vegan collagen. It's not possible. In science, there is no such thing as vegan collagen because it comes from animal protein. Yeah. So you can't get real collagen without animals, okay? So what people often sell is kind of like smoke and mirrors snake oil, where it's like vegan collagen booster, which means that it's got vitamin C in it, which naturally boosts internal collagen production, but it's not the same as real collagen, which is what people want. We won't put anything in our product which is harmful to animals. And really, the rest of our brand is completely vegan certified, but we found this ingredient, which is made from upcycled eggshells, from the inside of upcycled eggshells that are going to waste, right? And there's a membrane inside of them, and it contains collagen 1, 5, and 10, elastin, hyaluronic acid, glucosamine, and chondroitin, and in the highest concentration of any collagen ever. And that is what has made that product possible, because we would never put animal-based collagen in our product ever. We really have a very strong
So that's the secret
view.
sauce.
And it has 9 clinical trials on the benefits. It's every claim on that pack is verified by clinical trial. It's amazing. And so it deserves to be
And I can take this home with
and
you, right?
that's for you.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm looking forward to this.
Yes, very good.
Fabulous.
Yes.
Melissa, thank you so much for coming in. I must admit, I sound like a stalker, but I follow you on LinkedIn. I've just seen that you talk on many panels. I saw you outside Selfridges launching this. I followed your journey.
Were you actually there?
I wasn't there. I wasn't there. But when you agreed to do the story, I was absolutely stoked. So it really means a lot coming into it. It's such an honour to have you as part of the Growth 100 this year, and just all the best with everything you're doing. It sounds like you're having the time of your life, and you're onto something here which is going to be massive.
Oh, thank you so much. We really appreciate being included, and this has been so much fun. I'll come back anytime.
Awesome, lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.